RIS, and IMT Ghaziabad. Sir is the Indian nominated as a member of International Advisory Committee IAC, UNESCO Memory of the World Heritage Program. Sir also had a past experience with the TIFR, RIS, and MDI and IMT Ghaziabad. Sir is also member of many relevant national and international professional bodies. So I would request sir, please take over the session and start your session, sir. Please please mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Swati Banaras, please mute your mics. Dr. Sandeep, please mute your mic. Kamlesh, mute कर mic सर्वांचे.
Good morning, you all. Thank you, Prahlad, for your kind introduction. It is an honor with all of you. I'm a great admirer of Prahlad. Many years I have seen him working very hard. And I have seen taking an active interest in various activities other than kind of organization he's working right now. Like these kind of webinar, if you see currently, are being organized by American Library Association, Special Library Association, and National Level Library Association all over the world. But unfortunately, in our country, our library associations are so badly managed that except few professionals, none of these library associations are playing that kind of role which we should see in this particular critical time of COVID-19. So you can understand where we are. So in this presentation, I will try to have my presentation mainly in three parts. In the first part, I will try to present like where we are in terms of profession, in terms of the society's perception about libraries. And then second part, I will try to give you some reasons why libraries and librarians should be or are required more than ever in current age. And third part, I will try to present to you on the basis of my experiences that how today's librarians should prepare themselves to become successful and also to change the mindset of the people and provide the best library services. Friends, I will tell you that this profession is a very noble profession. I always say that doctors saves lives of the people and librarians creates the lives of the people through various avenues and opportunities. So when we talk about this profession, current state of librarianship, where we are, like there are certain questions. What is the status of present day libraries? If you see the kind of mindset, many administrators, bureaucrats, they have a different kind of thinking that now everything is available on internet. Why we need libraries? I have seen statement of many people, including some ministers and vice chancellors and also bureaucrats. So I call them library illiterates because they don't understand that libraries are not something which they believe or they understand. So this question, do we need digital libraries in digital era, is a very pertinent question, and you all should prepare to answer it. When we talk about administrators of the libraries, libraries are very badly managed. If you see the situation in university libraries, a large number of positions of librarians are lying vacant. There is no policy or no proper guidelines for development of libraries in universities and colleges. There are different kind of challenges, same in public libraries or in government libraries or university research libraries. If you see the kind of positions, I have worked in CSIR. When I was in CSR, librarians were having the same designation and the same position, like scientist B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So scientist category, and they can rise up to any level. Now, recently, if you see the positions in CSIR libraries, the position has been downgraded, like technical officers. Same is the situation in many other institutions. If you talk about various positions in top level positions, so administrators are not properly understanding the importance of the libraries. When we talk about users, see, users are the same. They need information, but they are now more technology savvy. Now they understand many things which earlier they were not required to. They know how to access on internet and search on catalog. Now, when we talk about library information professionals, really we are where we are. I will give you some idea like how we are placed. Information as an industry, like we have been struggling with increasing pricing and also different kind of pricing models, or because of digital technology, there are a number of challenges industry and libraries are facing, and funding is every day being we get reduced. Take example, a big consortium like Infiblat. If you see the situation of Infiblat today as compared to 3 years before or 5 years before, now very less number of resources are being provided by Infiblat as compared to the beginning. So because funding has been cut down, so funding is also a big issue. So let me say, libraries are changing, and change is not a bad thing. Change is always, we should welcome the change. Even user needs are changing. They don't need same services what they need in 80s or 70s.
माझा व्हिडिओ बंद आहे.
The role of librarians are also changing. When libraries are changing, user needs are changing, definitely your role is also changing. Because now we are in a knowledge society. We are in a scenario where a role of digital technology is more. And how libraries and user needs are changing, and how to manage these changes, that is a real issue. We need to understand how to manage these changes. Now, let me give you, I may be wrong in giving you this perception, but what is the general impression about libraries? People believe that librarians' position is invisible. The librarians are sitting somewhere in the corner, and many believe that, like, give you an example. When I was in JNU as a university librarian, when students were coming to me, for them, a attendant working in a section is also a librarian, and me as a university librarian is also a librarian. They don't understand difference between a library attendant and university librarian position, because actually they are not very well aware of the roles and responsibility of a librarian. And this is not just case of single user. It is a case of the entire uh, society. Society does not understand what is the role of the librarian. And when we talk about economics, many people believe that library is not a crisis organization. It is not the organization which contributes to the economy of a country. That is a impression which is a false impression, because libraries may not be contributing directly, but libraries are contributing to the economy. Many times the kind of services we are providing, uh, it lacks the direct matching with their needs, and quality is lacking. Sometime after this privatization, luckily in government, the librarians positions are well placed, but this privatization has given a low status in terms of salary in a management college or in a engineering college or in a private institute. Librarians are hired just like a clerical staff, or just even lower than that, 5,000, 8,000, 10,000, 15,000. That is something has also further downgraded the problem. Uh, and many people, like, if you see, we have a kind of female image of this profession, like just like in many people believe that this kind of school librarian's job or teacher's job is more suitable to the females. So some kind of that impression, a dull characteristic, like what people believe that like the librarian is something sitting in the corner. And so, and most importantly, low expectations. User of your library does not know what library can do it. This is you, the librarian, who can show them the immense potential of the library. Give you an example. Before my joining JNU in 2011, last librarian was Professor Girija Kumar. Dr. Kovnur Mutt was there for 2 years. Most of the time, librarian's position was vacant, and library was managed by sometime a coordinator, examination controller, sometime by a dean, sometime by a rector, sometime by a registrar or professor, or sometime a deputy librarian. So before my joining, the users in JNU library were not having very high expectations from the university library. They believe library is providing a reading space, and that is the something they need to make use of it, and they want to fully utilize that facilities. But during my 7 years stay at JNU, that make them understand what a library can do, what a librarian can make a difference to a particular university system, how important a role of libraries and librarians. So this is something they don't know what your library can offer. You have to show them. Now, what is the current focus of library science professionals? If you see, there's too much focus on IT. I'm a computer science person. Before doing library science, I did computer science. There is a role of IT, immense role of IT. But library science techniques and methods are more important than just a library. So we are forgetting about proper use of classification, cataloging, indexing, abstracting. We are ignoring these important areas. See, in current era, these are the tools which librarians are the only people who can understand it. Our courses are not helping much in our managerial skills. We hesitate in communicating. And when we talk about library automation, although we have a body like Delnet, but still we are not able to achieve a model like OCLC. Some are using Mark 21, some are using hundreds of softwares are being used by Indian libraries, which is not a case worldwide. You will find 4-5 maximum softwares are being used in most of the libraries all over the world. But we are having so many softwares in place. We are digitizing a lot, but we are never converting that into a good digital archiving system. We do not understand the meaning of digital preservation. When I visited Germany in 2006, that time there were projects like Nestor, Copal, Reuse. All these digital preservation programs were helping preservation of cultural heritage and important material. We don't have such programs. We started National Digital Preservation of Program with CDAC Pune as a center, but it was failed because just one individual was taking care of everything and there was no collaborative efforts and no government policy. So we are unable to get it. Open access, we don't have a proper strategy. Open access initiatives have been badly damaged by the predatory journals. Believe me, 67% of predatory journals are published from India. That is a big chunk of predatory knowledge. When we talk about marketing of library information services, people believe libraries are supposed to earn something. See, when you are publicizing your resources to your users, when you are creating an awareness about plagiarism, when you are creating awareness about altmetrics or scientometrics, you are marketing your products and services. Marketing doesn't mean always to earn something revenue. People need to really educate about libraries and librarianship among the users. See, this is your responsibility to educate your head of the institute, your responsibility to educate the person who is in charge of the library, who he or she should be make properly educated about librarianship. Now, what is the current situation of library association? What they are busy in? They have only two activities. Most of the librarians association have two activities. One is organization of a seminar or conference, and that also hundreds of papers are being invited, and in the present these conferences, a person is coming and this young person who has done hard work in preparing the paper is being asked, finish your paper in 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Sometimes some chairperson is asking him to just tell the title and go away. What is this nonsense happening in our profession? Why we need so many conferences? Why we need to have every week one or other conference talking the same issues? Why don't we utilize these opportunities in having a meaningful programs? Why we can't have these library association focused on the local issues and local areas and training and workshops in preparing people? Why they don't take responsibility of preparing people for the 21st century in organizing training and emerging tools and technologies? Why we are not raising these questions to these library associations? They become president or vice president or secretaries. But ultimately, what all they are doing for that particular segment of profession at the state level or in particular sector or in particular national level? We are also responsible for that. We are not raising voice. We are not asking question. And second trend has started. Every library association is starting giving lifetime achievement awards, best librarian award, best teacher librarian award, best technical librarian award, emerging librarian award. There's so many categories which we never heard of it. See, by acknowledging or by just self acclamation is not required. Your award should be the best. Your users say, when my users in JNU say, sir, we miss you, your presence in the JNU, that is my most important award. When agency asked me to come back again because they were feeling my absence, that is my award. When I go to IMT Ghaziabad or I talk to the people in TFR or in MDI, when my users say, yes, sir, your tenure, you have done some significant work for us, you really contributed. These are the awards, I'm hungry for it. We should be hungry for awards from your users, not from your professional colleagues, because they have their own vested interest. Somebody, your friend may like you, but there may be somebody who don't like you. Don't worry about that. Don't see who is appreciating you. Even in your organization, there may be certain people appreciating. Take criticism as a concretive, constructive, and analyze it. Don't just leave it like that. But frankly speaking, must understand that your library services, your contribution to that particular organization is of immense potential. So I wish the first thing in it for a new age librarians is that if you are a member of any library association, start asking questions. You have taken membership from me. What all you are doing for my professional development? When something goes wrong, have any library association ever fight it and ever come on the roads or the street to fight the cause? Do we have any COVID-19 plan of any library association currently in place? That is the role of library association. There are many things which, paucity of time, I will not talk. But for a new age librarian, first thing is that please understand where you are. Please understand the limitation. Please understand the potential. Please try to understand your goal, how to achieve these goals. And asking question is not bad, but it should be in a very dignified manner and in a logical manner. Now, when we talk about allies education and training, your product is most important. Your syllabus, what you are teaching to the student, is ultimately going to play a very important role. Now, what are the problems? First of all, we have too many courses. Our demand and supply ratio has been totally disturbed. We have more courses than required. And further, distance learning programs have also created problem for us. So here comes the role of library association, and they should take up with the national government and state government and UGC. Why each and every university is starting a correspondence courses? Why a private university has started awarding PhD programs? Do we need it? Do we have lack of any kind of professionals? So the demand and supply is also disturbed. Now talk about the syllabuses. We have no uniformity in having a syllabus. So we don't have any specialization. Many of the things what we are teaching are not relevant today. And apart from developing the syllabus, the next important problem is that we have very limited faculty in library science department. And when we are inviting the faculty to teach, it is on the basis of mostly on the personal network rather than professional network. Ranganathan says that librarians and library science teachers should interchange their positions. Librarians should go to teaching and teachers of library science should go to the libraries. We have forgotten that model. Now, after this UGC or enhancement of the age limit for the library science professor, what has happened? Like teachers have start understanding that they are having some advantages as compared to librarians. So there is a kind of gap created between libraries and library science teacher, which is very, very dangerous. We need to understand that we may be a library science teacher or a librarian or any worker. We all have same goals. Our identity. If there is no libraries, there is no need of library science teachers. So you are depend upon libraries. Library science teachers are also depend upon the libraries. If libraries are being damaged, you also damaged. Many times we are not able to understand that this division in this profession is creating a huge problem for us. So three important things for new age librarians. First, we should have a syllabus which should focus on today's needs. We should have good quality teachers. If you don't have in your department, invite the eminent librarians and don't just go by the designation. I have started PG diploma in computer science course, in digital library and data management at IGNC. I am not giving one paper to one faculty. I am inviting teaching faculty on topic wise, and even a technical assistant is teaching one subject. It is not restricted that only a professor should taught those students, because I believe if somebody is good in our software and he is working as a technical assistant or assistant librarian, I would prefer that person as a teacher, not a professor of library science who does not understand the R software. So for me, the importance is the knowledge, not the designation. And I think we need to take, and another important thing, sometimes we are not fully utilizing our PhD students, our research scholar. We should prepare them as a teaching assistant. We should first train them. We should make them knowledgeable in emerging areas. So I think there are a lot of things required at LIS education in India. Syllabus need to be changed. Course number of courses should be restricted. We should take a call to fight that we don't require so many distance learning courses. We don't require so many courses in private universities. We don't require the courses which are no relevant, like we have certificate courses conducted by UP Library Association all over India. We have how many of attendance positions are now? The position has been almost abolished, because now with the MST they are mostly like B-Live students are coming for this kind of positions. So I think there is a serious thoughts required to understand current scenario of LIS education. So that was my first part of the presentation, to make you aware of the existing scenario. It's a full of challenges. I'm not demotivating you, friends. I am the last person to discourage my colleagues, but I'm giving you the actual background, actual situation, and the one more important or more difficult task we have, that professionally we are divided on the basis of reasons, on the basis of groupism, because of National Library Association or State Library Association. I think somewhere we need to understand, if we are together, we can achieve our objective. If we are not, then we cannot. Now, many people ask you why we need librarians. When I conduct interviews in various positions, this is a very common question. People from other field ask why we still need libraries. What is the role of librarians in current information era? Can you believe it? One of my own professional colleague, when I was interviewed in the position of university librarian in JNU, asked me the same question. Can you believe it, that a professional is asking me what is the need of libraries now in current digital era? So sometimes these kind of mindset, you should be prepare yourself. So first thing to such people is, everything available is not available on the internet. Internet is having large amount of information, but everything is not available on internet. A large amount of textbooks, a large amount of historical information, archival information, even all the textbooks are not, all the books are not available, all the journals are not available. So internet is not having everything in place. Second thing, digital libraries are not the internet. Internet is not a digital library. And libraries are not just about the books. See, you see all businesses, medical profession or industry, everywhere. IT has been implemented everywhere. So what is the difference between IT applications in libraries and other segments? The businesses are still going in the similar manner. No business have been closed down. Despite of e-commerce, there are more and malls are open in India. There are more shops are open in India. Why? Do you think e-commerce is going to close down the entire retailing and this wholesaling business? Not everyone can afford books. Books are very expensive, particularly in a country like India. It is not beyond the reach, within the reach of the users to buy books. They totally depend on the libraries. Second thing, our culture, book culture is also very poor. In our families, we are willing to spend 500 rupees on pizza, but we don't encourage spending that same money on the books. Libraries are a stopgap to anti-intellectualism. That is also to be understand. Carry on this subject. Believe me, physical libraries are not going anywhere. Libraries and archives are carrier of your cultural civilization, your cultural heritage. Libraries are repository of your society's knowledge, your culture, your civilization. If libraries are not there, your civilization is no more. Internet is a mess. Where you search? On Google. Do you know Google just indexed 15 to 20% of the web contents? Rest 85 to 80% web contents are not searchable through standard search engines like Google or Yahoo or anything else. And when you search on internet, you will find thousands of irrelevant information. Internet is very, very valuable, but at the same time, it is a mess. And who can help you in this mess? Librarians. Librarians are the knowledge navigator. Librarians are the best search engines, and librarians are the best people to guide you in this internet sea. Internet is subject to manipulation. Like and anything can be written on internet. Take example of Wikipedia or any blog. Anybody can write anything. You cannot stop it. In internet democracy, people can write anything on internet. So do you think everything is authenticated on internet? No. Each and every piece of information in library is most reliable and authenticated, which is not true in case of internet. When library collection is developed, a team of experts with librarian staff, they are collecting the most valuable, because they have to spend money and they have limited money. So they acquire the resources which are most useful to a particular segment, to your subject. So library collection is most relevant. Libraries are stable while the web is transient. Web is very, very fast changing its concept and collections. Libraries can help in getting your information. Like a user comes to the library and say that I want this book. Library can procure it. Internet cannot do it. Internet may have many things, but it may not have something which you want. And we are still in a country where digital literacy or internet bandwidth is still an issue. So everybody cannot have access to the internet. Knowledge is not a thing that can be managed. We are not the knowledge managers. We are not managing knowledge. We are managing knowledge resources. So as a librarian, we need to understand that our role is management of knowledge resources, not the knowledge management. So our role from the raw data to synthesizing into information or helping to derive knowledge and converting into intelligence is a kind of cycle which we need to understand. Now, so far, I have given you answers the why we need the libraries, and more. Library is a environment. Library is a place, just like temple or church or mosque or gurdwara. When you go for prayer to any of your worship place, what happens? Suddenly you tune into prayer. Your mind knows that this is a place of worship. So you start praying to the God for your uh, like uh, good health or prosperity. Similarly, when you go to library, you start feeling that this is a place of learning. This is a temple of learning, and you are here to enhance your knowledge. That is the first, another most important reason why libraries are required. Second important reason, when you meet with your community, it enhances interdisciplinary cross-cultural dialogue. When a science student is coming and interacting with a student of humanities, there is a possibility of emergence of a new idea, cross-cultural idea, a interdisciplinary ideas. So, like there are hundred of thousands of reasons to believe, to convince the people, or to educate those library illiterates about the role and significance of libraries in current era. Tell them libraries are required more than ever. Why? In printed days, it was easier for librarians to put the book in the shelf and user was going and picking up. Now everything is hidden on internet. So searching on internet is a real challenge. What we should know how to search on deep web and all those things. So now talk about the user community. Librarians, you now I'm sure you have come across number of example to convince why we need libraries. Now, what is the status of our user community? Now, students are very well versed with the technology when they are working on research programs or they when they are doing certain kind of project. See, it is important that you should collaborate with them. You should engage with your users through various programs. Like take example of university. Now UGC has approved 2 credit course on research publication ethics. So you help in conducting that program in your university or in a college where PhD program is there. It's a pre-PhD compulsory course work. So you have to engage with them, manage them, and become engage them in such a way. Like I will give you an example. Take example of a management library. When I was in IMT Ghaziabad, I formed a student library committee, and I given responsibility to one student for each and every library section. Like one student was responsible for management of circulation, one student was responsible for management of periodical section. Similarly, there is there were 6 courses and there were 6 subject convener. Their job was to coordinate with the faculty to bring out the recommendations for purchase in the library. And believe me, that was such a successful example. First of all, they were like library was open 24 hours. They were keeping watch on the staff also. That like if, and they were very helpful to the staff. It was not just monitoring of staff, but they are also contributing a lot. Like suppose some student was misbehaving, they were coming in between and helping the staff. So there are a number of ways you should engage your users in the you make the friends of the library. You call them your like in JNU. I formed a forum called JNU Forum for Mutual Learning. In this forum, there was Vice Chancellor was the chair. I was the convener, and I was the vice chair, and then there was a student convener, and there is a joint convener, and then also there are certain kind of uh, coordinators for the various program. And in this JNU Forum for Mutual Learning, every Saturday, student that JNU Forum for Mutual Learning was organizing a lecture by the student, which was chaired by the one of the student. And that way, what we were doing, we are enhancing their communication and presentation skills. They were discussing the ideas or research projects or research programs. And many times, Professor Sapori, who was the vice chancellor, he used to attend those lectures. Believe me, they organized two very important seminars. One was on Harry Potter. Can you believe it? Harry Potter in context of from a student of humanity, a student of science, a student of philosophy, a student of biological sciences, a student of life sciences. Everybody was having their own perception of Harry Potter. And when this interdisciplinary things were discussed in that seminar, it was so useful. And even many faculty and other staff attended that seminar. There's similarly a seminar they organized on interdisciplinary research. What is important of interdisciplinary research? There are a number of ways you can engage your users, your students, organize book launch programs, organize different kind of events which help them in coming together. In JNU, we were not publishing the book, but I used to organize every year in book World Fair. I was displaying the books published by the faculty. So how I was getting connected with them, because they start believing that library is helping us in many ways. And so that way you become part of your user community, and you should able to generate a kind of good rapport. See, trust is very important. Mutual trust between library and the user is most important. So how to develop that trust? So as a new age librarian, you should go to them. Don't wait that they should come to you. Go and talk to them. What they need, what is their problems. If suppose somebody is not coming to the library, find out why you are not coming to the library. There may be some students who never enrolled in the library because they are unaware of the library potential. They are unaware of the tell them you can pass out, you can take a degree without coming to the library. But in life, you cannot become a good professional. You cannot become a good doctor or engineer or scientist. So user community is when you show them, when you convince them that what are you doing is in their interest. See, they start respecting you. They start loving you. Have a regular communication every day. I used to communicate to the faculty and student of the live JNU. I was not asking my staff to do it. Like I was getting 5 o'clock in the morning, and every day in the morning I was finishing all these communications. No user of my library waited response from me more than half an hour. So this is something very important. Your communication is very important with the users. If you don't communicate, they are not aware of it. You have to market, you have to publicize your thing. And if you able to gain their trust, everything is going to be very good. So that was user community is very forthcoming, and definitely they respect you if you do good work. So traditional libraries, like we have acquisition servicing, processing, lending, current awareness services, bibliographic services, maintenance. So definitely all these traditional library services are going to be there. It may be acquisition, maybe in digital form or in print form. It has to be there. Processing is also required. See, you may be doing classification and cataloging of physical books. Same time, you need to do cataloging of ebooks also. Now, the process may be different. So, in that process, you may be getting Excel data and you will be migrating directly to your catalog. your Babo pack. But you have to do the cataloging, even in case of e-material, the metadata for digital repository. Lending services, it may be uh, any at least in next 100 years, I don't see we are going to be 100% or paperless society. I don't see that scenario where we are going to have 100% or paperless libraries. It is impossible. So you need to have all these services what are there in currently. Now I'm coming to the some kind of tips to you that what are the most important thing in today's libraries. How new age librarians should develop their libraries. The most important thing in a library is its ambience. When you visit a library, a user should feel that library is inviting you. And this I am saying on the basis of my re-engineering in three organizations. I did this in JNU, I did this in IMT Ghaziabad, I did this in MDI, I did this in TFR also. I make several changes in the front look and the reading rooms and the various sections of the library by reorganizing, by renovation. Like this is the reading hall of JNU library, and this is the front area where you enter in JNU library. This was not the same when I joined. I've not included the picture of 2011 when I entered first time in JNU library. In the front there was all catalog cards were kept. Now these all reading halls, beautifully designed chairs and tables. So ambience is very important. Ask those people who have visited JNU library in 2011 and after 2012, they will give you the difference. So ambience is the first most important thing. Make your library attractive and keeps on changing like even in your house. Sometimes you in your bedroom you are changing the direction of the bed, or in your drawing room you are changing the direction of sofa or TV just to feel good. So this feel good factor is very important in terms of libraries too. So ambience is the one. Second thing, we are in 21st century. Now everybody is having mobile or iPad or laptop or tab and all those electronic gadgets. They are coming to the library with all these gadgets. Now you should have a space to implement or enhance, bring your on device culture. Like if you see this reading table in JNU, every table is having a laptop and mobile charging slots. I renovated these reading halls and put raceways in the floor. And with the help of those raceways, I'm able to provide these charging points for each and every. So there are more than near about 500 such sitting capacity in JNU. I plan to extend it further, but then I left it. So this 500 sitting capacity, users can sit for 24 hours because I extended the timing of JNU library to 24 hours. So now users can sit 24 hours without any botheration of your laptop battery will be down or your mobile battery will be down. So this is the second thing. Third important thing is that everybody is not having laptop. Everybody is not having iPad. So they need library help. So this was the option for those who are not having their own device, cyber library. So there are about 200 plus computer, 270 plus computer, 270 computers for those who are not having their own devices. So they can make use of this facility to access, because when everything is on online, how they will access it? They can access only when you provide them a good cyber library. Now, you know that even there is a law now to help persons with disabilities. Uh, I did in 6, 7 years. I did wonderful work for persons with disability in JNU. I was also honored by one of the professional association with the award for my work for the persons with disabilities. This is a beautiful center for persons with visual disabilities, and like all softwares like JAWS, Kurzweil, all these things are skin reading softwares, and even digitization center was created. Students who are not having the book which is not available in digital form, we were digitizing. So that way we were helping all visually impaired students. This was not the only facility. I was organizing talk for them. I was organizing seminar for them. I was meeting them every month. I just give you one example, like how new age librarians should think, should have out of box thinking. Please listen. As a librarian, we never given any importance to many social or human issues. One day I was having meeting with these persons with disability student. So one student, I was asking, everything has been done. What else you want from me? So there was one student who said that, sir, we are here from in JNU from last 2 to 3 years, but we have never visited any monument like Qutub Minar or uh, different kind of Nehru Memorial or National Museum. We have never been visited to any place. So, man, what do you want? He said that we would like to make a sightseeing trip. Please arrange for it. And okay, you get ready on Saturday. I will arrange a sightseeing trip for you. Then I called few of the concerned staff, and then I asked them that tomorrow Saturday we are arranging a trip for the blind student, and please arrange a bus and also arrange tiffin for them for the lunch. Ask Mass to prepare about 70 tiffin boxes, 60 to 70 tiffin boxes. Some of the students, my staff were just smiling. I asked them, why, what is this? He said, what they will see, they can't see, so how they will enjoy Qutub Minar and all those things. This is our general mindset. And my response was that, my dear, they cannot see it, but they can feel it. Let them take them to this place. And once the visit was conducted, believe me, their happiness next time when I met them, when I saw their photographs, they were just feeling happy, just like a small kid. They were they were able to understand the feel of joy. So many times we ignore such factors. Uh, these are the things like I help them getting laptop for each and everything, though a CSR fund from Rural and Electrical Corporation. I got 50 lakh rupees as a grant. I also helped in getting grant of 1 crore rupees for a bus for them from BHEL. There are a number of such grants. I got it. And when we decided to make library carrier free, we provided, uh, can you believe it? In library like JNU, a basic facility like wheelchair was not available in the library before my joining. The accessible toilet was there, not there in the library. There were students who used to go for toilet in the hostel after studying in the library. So all these things for the person with disability, as a librarian, this is your prime responsibility, that you should provide barrier free access to all section of the society. Now next thing is, now libraries are no more silent zone. Group learning is very important. You should provide them space for interaction. If you go worldwide, good libraries are having a recording room, they have a presentation room, they have a committee room, they have meeting rooms, and they have places to display their thoughts and ideas. So we should encourage group learning. We should have a different kind of reading places. We should have a serious, like in JNU library, we were having a research reading hall where all PhD students were provided a small cubicles, wooden table with a lock. So they were having a separate area. Similarly, blind students were having separate area, periodical room was separate, and people who are coming with their own books, there was a room where they can enter with the bag. So you have to provide library spaces are very important. So you have to think of providing them spaces according to your needs. You may be required to renovate the library. You may be required to do the things, change in your library organized. It is not necessary to create a new building only. You can make the changes within the existing library building. And if you want to see, go and visit JNU. That building was constructed in 70s, early 80s. And what I have made it in that library was the example that how can you renovate your existing library. Now, many things which like this was another experiment I did in JNU was that this is the area behind the library. So I created some Wi-Fi garden. Like if you see, the student can sit there. There is a mobile charging station, laptop charging station here. There are power points in this, and Wi-Fi connection was available there. So during winter, they can enjoy the sunshine. Even like whenever for some time library is closed, they can make use of this Wi-Fi facility. There was no Wi-Fi facility that time in JNU hostel. I don't know now it is there or not. So library was the sole center to access library resources through Wi-Fi. So this was the another experiment I did in providing all around the library. Some benches were created, and this was specifically with the charging points. When I joined JNU, like if you have come up, if you have been in JNU, you know JNU is having a big poster culture. Student put posters everywhere. So when I joined JNU, the day I found that library gate was full of poster. Even library name was not visible. And slowly I stopped that, and I provided them a space where they can put their all announcement. Earlier they were not listening, but I forced them to put it on the display board, note on the all the building walls. Now, this was the about the reading room, physical events, and all those things. Now, coming to the library facilities and services. See, catalog is a lifeline of a library. You should use a best software. If you can afford, go for the best commercial software. If you can't afford, then you may use the best available open source software. In my opinion, Koha is one of the most, but I think you should not change to Koha if you have a good and you can afford. Like in JNU, before my joining, Dr. Kognur Mutt purchased the software BTLS, Virtua. But that is one of the best software in the world. I never thought of changing it because that was a software fulfilling my most of the needs. Even when I digitize all electronic thesis and dissertation, I'm able to upload on that software, Virtua. So when your current software is meeting all the needs, you should make use of it. Don't just experiment for open access, because migration from a commercial software to open software sometimes is real challenging, and this problem many libraries are facing in migration of data. But use the best software and should provide the cataloging information to them, and should have a good library site. Like when I joined JNU, right side is the website available in JNU library when I joined, and the left side is the website which I got it designed. Can you believe it? This website was designed by a library professional in Drupal. And now I'm sure at my time also library staff of library was using this particular website. So a good website is very important. And believe me, JNU library website was developed first, and then later JNU also decided to follow the same software to create the entire JNU library, JNU website. So that was the kind of beginning I made in JNU of having a new website. And this is important for, you may be a small library, you may be a big library, but you must have a good library website. RFID is good for circulation as well as for inventory. If you can afford it, should go for it. But I am not a very hard follower of RFID. I believe that if you can uh, manage without RFID, and because cost is a big issue. It is not a one-time cost, also recurring cost. So I kept this on always on the last priority. I prefer having more services and other facility rather than RFID. But if you want to afford, if you can afford, you can go for it. This is something every library should have remote access. Every library should have a remote access. There are a number of tools. You can use EZ proxy, you can use remote access, you can use a number of other Athens, uh, number of software are available for this kind of. So remote access is must. So your access can be extended beyond the boundary walls or beyond that IP address. You should, because anytime, anywhere, access is very important. And that was in JNU we used EZ proxy, which is a very good software. Then see, search is very important. Search is the first step in research. When you are using when you are doing a good search, then you are able to do good research. So you should use either federated search or web scale discovery services. I prefer web scale discovery services. See, you may be little hesitate in spending few lakhs rupees, but there are immense advantages of that. Believe me, the access of JNU library was enhanced more than 3000 percentage, 3000 percentage after implementation of remote access and web scale discovery. These are the most important attractive point of the JNU library users. They become my fan after implementation of this technology. So my suggestion to new UA's librarian must have remote access, and there are some kind of open access tools also. I think there is one open source tool I'm not able to recall right now, which can be used for federated discovery if you don't afford to buy a commercial software. Research support services, yes, that is the most important thing for the new age librarians. And why I become darling of all in JNU, because of my initiative in enhancing the research quality, in supporting the research. For language learning, you should provide tools like Grammarly. For access plagiarism, tools like Turnitin. And you should create different kind of electronic delivery system. You should help in knowing about their research impact. You should help them in citation by training in reference management tools like Mendeley, EndNote, and Zotero. EndNote is part of Web of Science. Mendeley is available free with the up to 12 gigabyte space. Zotero is also free. Organize workshop on plagiarism, on how to write, how to get it published by organizing author workshop. So this is very important for college, universities, management, engineering, or all kind of academic and research institution. Research support services are key. These are the links of these particular softwares. You can go through it. Create some subject gateways. Like if you want to see, I recently have seen example. One Dr. Sriram has created some research, such certain subject gateways at their Thapar Institute website. You may like to see those examples. Research guides and subject gateways are very important. Digital reference service is very important. Now, you should use Facebook or a different kind of online chat system, social networking platform to have interaction with your user communities. You should have ask your librarian page and one user. Now, like during this lockdown period, we have been excellently working on these digital technologies, and library should come out with have a ask librarian page and regularly respond to it. Data is very important. Many time in a university and research, we ignore that importance, and users struggle to get the data. So research data management is very important. Provide the opportunities and contact points or referrals how to get the data. Like many times we ignore getting data from, like, unit level data from Ministry of Industry, data from different CSO and census data. All these data are not provided accessible in the libraries. So if you are a big library, we should, like we did it in JNU, we provided census data, industry data, all kind of data whenever they need it. Although some in certain cases it was challenging to provide the data. Preservation, if you can do it, it is not for everybody to do it, but if you are having an in-house publication, then project like locks and clocks, you can participate. These are the free initiatives. So for preservation of your in-house publication, journals, and all these things, logs can be used. Digital signages are very important in the libraries. Now QR code and all these kind of imaging screens and everything. So that help you in creating kind of uh, awareness about your services, your facilities. So this is very important. Uh, you should prepare a list of frequently asked questions about various facilities, like FAQ about plagiarism, FAQ about citation, FAQ about scientometric. So FAQ about different kind of things should be developed. Data and statistical analysis service, you should provide training in software like Excel and SPSS and R software. Like students really need help in this data analytics. Copyright, many times they are not aware of Creative Commons licenses, they don't know about fair use. So help them in understanding, because when they contribute, they are actually not aware of various kind of copyright issues and other things. Electronic thesis and dissertation. All theses should be digitized. You should accept only electronic copies now. That I made mandatory in JNU. Even a thesis tracking system was developed in JNU, where a student was submitting his thesis PDF file through school, and that was coming to library, and library was checking and confirming that contents, and then it was going to examination department for reviewing. After finally when the thesis was awarded, it was coming to the library database, and everything was done online using this thesis tracking system. I digitized all 22,000 theses and dissertations. Everything was made online. Beside, I also digitized 10 lakhs news clipping in JNU. All were put online. Use of free and for open software should be encouraged, but at the same time I will say use good open software. Not every good software is not, every open source software is having its own challenges. So if you can afford commercial, make use of it. If you don't, then go for open source software. Mobile technology is very important nowadays. So mobile applications should be developed, and really it is very helpful nowadays. Social media should be used. I can tell you it is the best way to reach out your users. You should develop good uh, social networking systems. You should encourage to student to go on Orchid and ResearchGate, and also on Academia, and along with that can develop your Facebook page and also get it connected through that. All these things are very important. Like I think due to paucity of time, I'm not going to talk more on this because already it's more than an hour. Uh, this bulletin board service, I think you should think of starting a number of public discussion, online discussion, and regular interaction in an online mode to your students and faculty and users. Electronic document delivery is very important. Like you should encourage. Like I was having a plan which I was not able to implement in JNU. I talked to my staff that we should create a page where all the reference readings or suggested reading in a course outline should be hyperlinked with the ebook or articles. Or so there are a number of ideas where you can do such things. As I mentioned, good services for the assistive technologies for person with disability is very important. you can start a newsletter and news clipping for your users. uh, Open education resources, like you should create a role in MOOC and Moodles and all kind of such activities where online free resources are available. And believe me, now with this lockdown period, such resources are going to be very, very important. And use of open educational resources should be, you should develop a page where you put all the relevant all OER resources. And these YouTubes and other media should be encouraged. I understand even TCS has provided a platform for online tutors and all those things. These are the some example. NPTEL is one. Create virtual library tours. Like people, if suppose there are 10,000 students in university, you cannot reach out each and everybody. So through virtual tour, you should specifically create a library tour using electronic technologies and help them in understanding more and more thing about your things. Uh, Altmetrics are very important. Like Web of Science and Scopus, they have limitation. Sometimes they don't give you uh, kind of citation to all the resources. So you should learn about these altmetric tools, like these are altmetric, impact story, reader meter. You should learn and help uh, getting citation on the website or on the social networking platform or another, like Google Scholar is also one of the tools. QR codes are very important. You should make green libraries. Like you should encourage having more and more visibility. If you are going for a new library building, should have a green library concept. Education 4.0. Like if you must have heard of Internet of Things. Internet of Things has resulted into Industry 4.0. And to meet the requirement of Industry 4.0, we have something called Education 4.0. So what is this Education 4.0? We are going in a like personalized based learning environment. It is more of a learning environment, and library play a very important role. Like anytime or anytime access, that is important. Anytime, anywhere classes. Then personal information rather than group. Like you should personalize your library services. Like we have heard of selective dissemination of information (SDI), but very few library in real sense has implemented SDI. It is more of a kind of peers and mentors job now. Uh, it is focused on lifelong learning, and evaluation is more than examination. Like in next few years, I just come across a study where it has been said that this COVID problem may continue up to 2024. So in this current scenario, this education 4.0 is going to be crucial, because when you are not having physical classes, you are on online classes, you have online examination system. So I think my suggestion to all my new age librarian is that learn about this education 4.0, the various technologies and tools available, and then try to develop library 4.0, because some work has been started. There is some initial work on library 4.0. So I think this can be a good uh, learning tool. Education 4.0, there are some more things I have given in PPT. Uh, New knowledge assets, developing new technology driven. Uh, to close today's talk, I would like to say, don't worry about the change. Change is inevitable. Every time we need to change, from agrarian society to knowledge society, we have seen different phases of the change. Technology is just a tool. I'm a computer science person. I always given focus on more on library expertise rather than just technology. Technology comes automatically. Information support for user is not just by providing articles or books. They don't need your help in that. You have to help them in connecting and engagement, in learning and research. So provide them support. See, they are going to be provide them services for each and every aspect. Give you an example. JNU is known for preparation for civil services examination. So there was a reading hall outside when I joined, and I was told that most of the IAS aspirants are studying in this reading room. So there were very basic minimum facility. So some people oppose when I provided them more good facilities. Say that why you are doing it, because they are not studying for JNU, they are doing preparation for IAS. And what is wrong in that? See, if you help in developing a good IAS, they are going to help to contribute to the society. So don't think, suppose somebody is doing for coaching, please help use of library. Even an outsider is coming, don't say no to that. Because many times, even one of my colleague in JNU, she was very adamant not to allow people in the library, creating rules and regulations. But you have to stop all those such mindset and thoughts. Always encourage outside users. Allow them to, if you have a space, let them in, let them read. We are a public funding institution. So any citizen of country is coming, they should be allowed, they should be given space. Keep it in mind. You are developing future leaders of a society. So entire nation is looking for you. Librarians, see, I believe that society is not having that much importance about the librarianship, but you yourself know that your role is important. See, if you see, nobody is happy in their own profession. Teachers are not happy, doctors are not happy. Everybody wants to be something else. So if you have chosen this profession, like I'm very happy, I have an opportunity to switch over this profession 3 times. I could be a professor in MDI, maybe teaching business communication today, because Professor Pritam Singh want me to study or become a professor. I didn't accept. Prior to that, I was given a offer in IMT Ghaziabad, where I was asked to open a library science school. I was all, and now I'm doing my job in teaching in IGNCA, but same time I'm focusing on digital preservation, digital archiving, and so I want that librarian should play both the roles as an educator as well as a practicing librarian. We are just like doctors. I fully compare myself with a doctor, that we are a we are practitioner as well as we are the educators. We have dual roles to play. So I'm sure some of the things I have mentioned here, my young fellow colleagues will give attention to that. Please don't look for any kind of appreciation. Don't worry about the criticism. There are certain people will always criticize you. Some people will not be happy that you are above them. Always encourage your juniors, develop the role models, develop the people, new age librarians. This is the responsibility of senior librarians, to develop their team, always bring them in the front. And also it is the responsibility of the young professional to read more. See, learning is always very important. You have to learn new tools and technologies. Every day when you learn, every day you have more ideas and more knowledge. So librarianship is a big challenge and very novel profession. I'm proud of a librarian and always feel very happy that I joined this profession. I'm able to help many people, and I'm very happy the way I have been respected and I got all kind of attention from everybody. So thank you very much. Thank you, Pradhat. I acknowledge all the sources which I have used in this presentation. I will try to answer some of the question according to the time. And same time, if you have any further question, you can send me the email. If you want to know more about my professional experience and idea, nowadays I'm writing my journey memory at the Facebook. I'm already written 11 memoirs. So you would like to read it further to more how a librarian should make impact on the society. So thank you very much, and I'm open to
Thank you,
questions.
sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Uh, Before somebody starts, I'll start, sir. It is a very wonderful session. Not only knowledge booster, but it is gives many ways to enhance ourselves. You had started on a very good note with the book culture, sir, which is one of the important thing which is a library profession should do that things. Again, you had touched that research support skills. Sir, we are in the corporate, definitely we are doing that. business intelligence service, competitor intelligence service we are providing to the client and our users. Librarian should become a search strategist, according to me, sir. Then only he will get what he want the information from this dark, deep, and surface web. And as you mentioned, CSR, I will also mention you sir, something on the ISR. Every librarian should take the responsibility of ISR, individual social responsibility, to develop and build our profession. This is my very little input from my side, sir. I would request all the participants, please raise your hand if you have any query. I would request all the participants to raise your hand to ask the query. Kamlesh, please check. Kamlesh?
Dr. Janeth,
Yes.
Dr. Janeth, can you ask question? Dr. Janeth Khan, please unmute yourself and ask question.
Dr. Zeenat. Kamlesh, Dr. Zeenat.
Yeah, it's Dr. Zeenat.
Yes. Yes, Dr. Zeenat, please. We are getting you.
So, can you hear me?
Yes,
Sir,
yes.
Yes, yes.
You have said about the New Age librarian, that what we did in our library and what our achievements from users. So it's a very informative information for us, and I need your help in also in other profession. And I have questions, sir, about your which you told us about the remote access and all these information.
Yes, yes, Janeth. Go ahead.
And about the open access system and the bulletin board. So sir, in next time I always participate in your sessions after the COVID-19 for enhance my knowledge.
Thank you,
And,
Janeth.
okay sir, thank you.
Thank you. Reshma Lad. Reshma, you can unmute and can ask question.
Kamlesh, Reshma Lal. Kamlesh, Reshma Lal. Yes.
Then Prashant Kumar R.
Prashant Kumar R. Kamlesh.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, Prashant, ask.
Hi, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, Prashant.
Yes, sir. I'm Prashant from Teta & Company, Bangalore office.
Yes. What is your
yes,
question?
sir. Yes, sir. Just we had discussed about the differences between the libraries and teachers and the librarian. And might you know how the librarians are they are how they are teaching, like how they are looking different way as a librarian. So may you have experienced that. So why these are the committees, library, many of the committees you have. So as you said, they are only engaging with the organizing the seminars and conferences only. So why they are not considering as how teachers are considering? Like, is there any solutions for that, sir?
See, Prashant's solution is in our hand.
Yes, sir.
As a member of that library association,
Yes, sir.
we should ask questions to those office bearers and ask
Right,
them, like when they are organizing a seminar and conference. Like, give you an example. Like,
Yes.
these kind of issues are emerging. There should be a more of a, like when you are organizing. I'm not against organizing seminar and conferences. I
Yes,
want
sir.
focus should be on our problems, and
Yes.
like the way it is being organized, it should not be done. Second, like
Right.
there should be a proper correlation between library science teachers and library science librarians, and
Right.
we should be mixed. We should not like have a gap. That gap need to be filled up, and library association should play a key role in that. And who are the library association? Me and you are the library association, because we are the member of that. So we should not wait that they should do that. We should ask questions to them and ask them to do things in that manner.
Why? Because even I have experience in academics also, sir. So comparatively the corporate and academics, the librarians, the way of their looking, it's completely different. So I have that kind of experience. So that is the reason I'm asking you this.
I think if you want more how to do it, we can have further discussion, because
Right, sir.
there are some more people who want to ask question.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Gauss Mahmuddin, what is that, Gauss? You want to ask some question?
So myself Gauss. Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Gauss.
Yeah, it's Gauss.
Yes.
Din. Yeah, hi sir. I heard about you, lot of you from Karshidappa, Dr. C.R. Karshidappa sir and all. I'm a product of Karnataka University, Dharwad, but I'm basically from Bujapur district, Karnataka, and I'm working in Kerala since 8 years and a corporate librarian as a scientist and information and documentation officer.
Great.
Sir, my question is regarding you that thanks ki people are staying at home. That's everybody we are educating even to our users also. It's great opportunity the librarian or a professional who is taking caring to our users patterns or our society people also. And the question is, sir, regarding my thing is RFID, and is there we can replace RFID by any other tool? The first one. And the second one is why still our professional is lacking in the syllabus, what we learn, and now what the budding librarians are coming out, they are entirely feeling something like they have still to grow, have the skills, but why the professionals still they are not creating skills to develop as an extra curriculum activities?
Thank dear. So first thing regarding RFID, there is another technology like there is a magnetic tape, which is cheaper than RFID. Only disadvantage is that it cannot function it can control the security, but it cannot take care of the inventory system because of the difference of the technology. So that is magnetic tape is this is the cheaper technology. Exactly the nomenclature I'm not able to recall. I will let you know later. Second thing about your question, like syllabus is,
okay.
Unfortunately, most of the library science school, there is one teacher or there is no well developed department in many of these department of library sciences. And even UGC, like last 20 years, I have not seen UGC has not formed a course curriculum development committee. So we need to have a uniform syllabus all over India, which is not taking place. And somewhere I think we are not having a dialogue between librarians and the library science teacher. So that like what when we are talking about remote access or discovery, when we are talking about social networking tools, when we are talking about all these resource support, Mendeley and Node and Gate, all these things are not being taught in school because there is no connection between practicing librarians and the library science teacher. So somewhere I think there are only two ways. One is that libraries association should play a role, bringing both together and helping some kind of revision of these syllabuses. Second, the UGC should play. We should, like last few years before I met the chairman of UGC, I requested him to form a course curriculum development committee so that there should be a uniform course for the library science. Unfortunately, that committee has not been formed. So at least if UGC directs all these departments, there should be uniformity in the course. And the top professionals, including librarians and library science teacher, both should be engaged in that kind of. So I think we should, as a member of different association or different bodies, we should work on that and we should try to get it. Rest and later. So like
sir,
now Sweta,
yes,
want to
so
ask.
nice of you. Nice of you. Thanks
Thank
for
you. Sweta Kalmat. Sweta, you want to ask question?
Kamlesh Shweta Kalmat.
Shweta Kalmat.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
Shweta, I can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, sir, your session was very wonderful. It was very informative. Just I had a one question. This due to this COVID, all the institutions and all are closed, and it is very difficult to give the services. And some of the institutions they are giving access as a remote access. Okay.
Yes.
And is that any possibility like they are giving access to only particular their students, but they are not giving outside? Because of this COVID, is there any possibility they can provide for the outside? Because some of the this one so resources they have like opened up for many because of this COVID. Is any possibility like for the remote access to we can provide a very good services to our students because we are having very limited resources, sir?
So Shweta,
Yes.
I will give you answer in two parts. First is that the remote access created by a institute is basically restricted to their users only,
Yeah.
because they are governed by certain license agreement and copyright issues. So they cannot open it to institute people other than their own institute. So in that way, that's why I recommended that every institute should have a remote access of their own resources. Now even certain publisher of these remote access are giving facility, online facility to create. So if you want to set up for your user, you can do it. Second part of remote access is that there are number of publishers have opened up certain facilities. Like you may be not using any remote access tool, but like Elsevier has provided remote access facility. You can create remote access facility of Elsevier resources and the user can access it. So you should look into your service provider or your vendors. Many of them, Taylor and Francis, Emerald, they have provided remote access to their clientele. That is the one way. Next way is that by sitting at home, there are a number of open educational resources. You people should provide, like if you go to my Facebook page, I have created a group, COVID-19 Virtual Library Information Services. I have allowed people to become the member and upload all the links, free link, school libraries, public library, research library. So you go through there, you will find thousands of such references which you can forward your users. Now next thing is that individually, like I have more than 4,000 phone numbers in my account. I have created certain kind of groups. So every day I am circulating e-newspapers and uh, e-magazines to at least 2 to 3,000 people in my telephone contacts. They are the scientists, researcher, vice chancellors, doctors, engineers, all people knows me. So it is up to you how much time you want to devote to your users, and not just your users in the segment or in the field, whatever best we can help. Now see, those people are so happy after every day they are getting newspapers or magazines, Economist or Times magazine from me. So they are very, very, very happy because this is I'm doing on my own. So similarly, all librarians should find out whatever the best thing are possible, and they should in your locality, in your contacts or in your organization. So I think there are a number of ways we can help, but post COVID, every university, your college, every library should have a remote access. Same time, we should enhance use of more and open access. So Archana Navrekar.
Thank you,
the
sir.
next questioner is Archana
Yes, sir.
Narvekar. Yeah.
Yeah, please ask.
Yes, sir. Yes, Archana here.
Yeah, Archana.
So actually, basically my question is like I would like to ask you.
Yeah, Archana. You unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have unmuted.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
Now you
yes.
can
Can you
ask.
hear me, sir?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you like about or how can you guide those librarians or LS professionals who are planning to get into the consultation basically, how they can and whom they can approach if they are planning to get into the consultation, library consultation basically.
Consultation. What type of consultation you are talking about? Like research
Basically
and
providing the library services to like colleges or any private firms or any individuals who wish to like arrange libraries, personal libraries for themselves.
on payment basis or free?
Both.
See, there are, if you want to have payment basis, when I was in MDI, I plan to start a corporate knowledge center in which I plan to engage industry as a member of that particular corporate knowledge center. And it was, the concept was very well taken up, but unfortunately I left MDI very early, so I was not able to fully implement it. So one way is that you can have membership, institutional membership, or some kind of corporate membership to your library, to the but you have to keep it in mind that there are certain services which you are providing may have some kind of copyright or license restriction. You have to take care of that. Second thing is providing consultancy to various kind of organizations in services and facilities. You identify, like there may be certain kind of voluntary organizations, some kind of NGOs. Like have been associated with number of NGOs where I help them in getting services and facilities. Like if you see, the one example is one Dr. Rishi Tiwari. He is doing a wonderful work at BIMTech. Like they have set up a small library, small learning center, and also libraries in prisons. So it is number of opportunities in your locality, in your area, in your segment. How you can provide consultancy to different kind of organization. These consultancy can be both. Sometimes you paid, sometimes you work on honorary basis. So I think it is up to you that how you want to take it up. So now
Okay.
another
Thank you, sir.
Archana Ahir.
Hello.
Yes, Archana.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. First of all, I want to thank Prahlad sir and all the organizing team for this informative session, and in which, sir, you have only pointed out or rightly said that without library, no civilization. That I like the most. So, being teaching faculty, I have one question related to this sentence only. That being teaching faculty, how we can cooperate with the library team to achieve this civilization?
You are teaching library science?
No, sir. I'm from economics.
Actually, you are in economics. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are here. See, basically, I will give an example of any college library, university library.
Yes.
Starting from your course outline and giving different kind of teaching assignment, different kind of examination system. There are a number of ways where library and teaching faculty can communicate. First of thing, your library should keep you updated. So what they should do, they should develop a user profile. They should have profile of all the teaching faculty. So whenever they come across anything relevant to your interest, they should send it to you. So they will help you in updating your knowledge. That is the one thing. Second important thing is that, like, you should give certain kind of assignments which should encourage use of library. Your students should, like, take a book, open a book examination, or give them some assignment or project, and make it mandatory that at least 10 references from the library should be cited in that particular assignment. So in that way, they are forced to use those 10 references. They have to read it and they have to quote it.
Okay.
Then library quiz, library competition, different kind of library events. Like
in this regard, sir, I have also conducted one book review competition.
That's
So
very
that was a book review competition.
Very good.
So
And
that was very useful for the students also, because economics, it is the, we can say, undivided part of our life. So
Yes.
the importance of economic subject. So students have participated very enthusiastically in that competition. Open book test, yes, we are taking this. Then you have said one more, that is we have to improve book culture.
Absolutely.
We have to inculcate this among the students. So for this, again, I want to know something from you, how we can go for that, sir.
See, connect them with your like teacher play a very important role in that. First thing, that you should recommend the books which are required by them. If they don't have books which they need, they will not go to the library. Second thing, like I mentioned, when you give an assignment, make mandatory that they should cite certain kind of, and start some kind of activities of book talk. Like I will give you an example. When I was Fulbright scholar in US, I audited a course in digital library. So the teacher of that course, what he used to do, every time he asked to explain one chapter by a particular student. So one student, next class, one student has to come prepare. And he never said that who will present it. He said that anybody can be asked to make a presentation. So everybody comes prepared with one chapter reading. And when he asked to make that person, like that person make his own understanding of that particular chapter before he start his class. So in that way, like it is a kind of forcing on that one book is completed in just few lectures and other things. Then organize book talks. And like I give you example, when I was in IMT Ghaziabad, I made certain kind of student library committee. It's given the certain kind of responsibility to the students in different aspects. So I think engage them, and rest. I think there are a number of more people to ask question. I will take up these questions, and you can note it down my email ID and can take my phone number. We can discuss this further.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, Manju Dubey.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, your session was really very comprehensive, covering so many things, and it ended with a very good note that librarians can make a difference. I really agree with that. I have one question. You was talking about open access initiatives.
Yes.
Now, we at the college end, we are always having a limited resources, and you talked about a proper strategy for that. Can you little bit put a light on this particular thing, how we should go for a proper strategy in utilizing these open access initiatives in our college?
The most important thing that your college or university should make a open access policy, because give guidelines, like first encourage your researcher to contribute to open access journals. So many times your researchers are not well aware of the open access publishing. Sometimes and also guide them. They should not publish in predatory journals. They should avoid predatory journals. So you will provide them help, like guide them to use iCare list of journals or good quality open access journal. So one is to encourage them in writing, creating. Second is make guidelines for use, like provide the listing of all such resources on your website, open access of journals, open access directory of books, and all kind of good open access repositories, open access education resources like NPTEL and RPT and all those kind of tools. So proper listing of open access resources is also important. Now, another way of encouraging open access is like with the help of some good open access publishers, organize some kind of event, help them in advantages of open access. And also, if you can do it, ask your authorities to make it compulsory that all open access journals, articles, and other articles contributed by faculty, they should be routed through library. So you can keep a preprint of that article, and later with the permission of the author, you can create a repository of preprint articles for IR, institutional repository. So in that way, that is being accessible by your student. That will be the another way. So more important is that good awareness, a policy, a proper policy, and some kind of encouragement, enhancement. Like many times when a open access article is contributed, author processing charges are being paid. So talk to your faculty, principal or vice chancellor or director that they should provide some funding to make those payments. So that way, I think you can create a good environment.
Thank you, sir. One more question, sir.
Manju, there is one Sarade.
Okay.
He's waiting. So let him. Okay, if time is there, I will ask you for.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, Radhe. Dr.
Hello?
Ranjita Nilardi Das, either of those.
Dr. Ranjita Kamlesh, Dr. Ranjita.
Ranjita Niladri Das.
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes.
Getting you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, what's your question? Dr. Ranjita, do you have any question?
Hello.
Yes, Srisal Sarade. Srisal Sarade.
Kamlesh Sarade.
Yes, Sarade. Please ask your question.
Presently, I am working in Chintamarao Institute of Management, Sangli, Maharashtra.
Yes, sir.
We used, sir, ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Software.
Good.
Deccan Education Society, Pune.
Yes.
Sir, as you know, sir, in that software, some limitations regarding ISO 2709, Mark 21, cataloging. Some of these international standards are not used in this software, sir. Hello?
Which international standard you are talking about? What kind of international standards are not used?
In cataloging, sir.
Achha, Mark 21 and other things.
Yes, sir. So what is your opinion, sir, regarding commercial software and ERP?
See, sometimes we are bound by certain kind of office practices. There are company rules and regulation. If that ERP is not having those features, you should guide them because they may not be aware of it. So you guide them about introducing Mark 21 cataloging format in that. So if you are able to guide them, then they will able to incorporate those standards in your ERP software. The designer of that company or individual should be educated about that. It should be aware of it.
Okay, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Ranjita.
Hello.
Yes, please ask question.
Hello, sir. That
Yes.
is Dr. Ranjita. I'm a teaching faculty from the Baroda, that MS University of Baroda.
Yes.
Because now that COVID-19 has impacted the whole world,
Yes.
the academic world is one of the most affected of the change in the academic fraternity. Your that is a presentation about the webinar is very informative and useful, and it is also we have got a vast experience about the both library and teaching faculty point of view. But my point is, suppose now you taught us about that online lecture through Zoom Cloud. But I wish to know about what are the other technologies which are very, very useful for not only during this COVID-19, but after that also it will be helpful for the students and teaching point of view and organization to collaborate all to teach that online, because it is only
Yes. Yeah, I'm coming. So you noted down. Besides this, Skype for Business is the one tool. Microsoft Teams. There is a Google Hangout. Google Hangout.
That I know that is Google Hangout and Google that is Meet.
Meet.
Google Hangout now updated is Google Hangout Meet, and that is Cisco Web Meeting.
Yes.
But
WebEx is there, and one more tool TCS is promoting. So you can find out details. TCS is also providing free services for such virtual classes for the universities and colleges. So I think
that is for Moodle system. That is a Moodle system that I must teach. They are teaching a Moodle system.
No, I think for online classes. You can have your own online classes. So Prahlad, now I think I have to go to office also.
Hello.
Yes.
The last question.
Hello, sir. Myself Arindam Nath. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, myself Arindam Nath. I'm from West Bengal. My question is, sir, discovery layer, sir. You are talking about that in OPAC should be there a discovery layer too.
Right. So what is your question?
Which one is the best one? I am using in my library viewfind.
See if you can afford, then EBSCO Discovery or Summon are the best. Reason, in open access there are limitation. You can integrate your certain things, but there are number of such integration which individually is not possible. So if you have funds, then you go for either EBSCO Discovery Services or Summon by Procast. If you cannot, then Viewfind is the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So now it's already 1:30. So I guess sir had covered most of the topics, and he had given all of the questions and answers. So I would request other participants, if you have any query, please mail me through Facebook, through mails. I will post it to the sir, and sir will revert back to you. Sir, from audience part, from KCO parts, I must say thank you for your valuable time and for your valuable guidance. We need your support always, sir.
I'm always there. Thank you, Prahlad. All the best, and stay safe and happy. All the best. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
KCO professional, we will stay back here. Kamlesh, stop recording. Kamlesh, stop recording.